So here we are. Yep. Okay. So in the afternoon, of course, I have finished the head that we did in the last stream. So you see, come on, focus, camera. Come on, what the hell? Why are you not focusing? There we go. There we go. You see, our valves are working as intended. Just like the real thing. Here on this side, of course, we have the camshafts. These are the spark plugs, or the coil packs, basically. I made them red, so you can see them here in red, you know. And it's a pretty compact head design, I must say. What we don't have is the ability to attach the intake and the exhaust manifold directly to the head. So we're gonna attach this to something on the block, and you know, it'll be fine. So the block. I have experimented with stuff in the afternoon as well, but you can see the problem here, of course, was this. This is not something that I want to have. But we have, again, Christian coming to the rescue. He brought me, he brought up the idea of using this frame. And of course, I have some thoughts of my own, in addition to what he did. Because, you know, I want this to be made like, you know, or similar to a real engine. So I want, you know, this is gonna be attaching like this, and the crankshaft I want it to be removable as well. So like in the real engine, we want the crankshaft to be, you know, so that we can lift it out. So it would be attached with, I don't know, something. So where are my bricks? There. So one of those, so the middle section of the engine is gonna be held together with this. And then we're gonna have our pins here. And two more pins. Two more pins go in here. Come on. Okay, there. So this is a pretty good engine block right now. And now we want to set up this so we can basically attach, where are they? I had the part in my hands. Okay, yeah. So I want the crankcase to be attached like this. So we need to, you know, have one of them, those parts here, one of those here, The only thing that I don't know is how to, provide an attachment point here in the middle. That's what we are going to figure out right now. I mean, it's not going to be very hard. I guess we're gonna use this part here and two of these connectors. Or do we? Because I wanted to do something like this. Come on. Like this, but this isn't going to work. No. This isn't going to work. Yeah. In this case, it might work, yeah. Yeah, if we use this, just in this center cap. But we're gonna use this exact piece. It's gonna solve the problem on the top as well. Exactly. Because I was wondering how am I gonna solve the top part. Now I know. Christian, you are special in a good way. So we're gonna use this. No, not like this. Like this, exactly. So now we have everything we need. There. These go here. I hope we have everything we need. I think we have everything we need the way it should be. So this is here, this is here. Then we have this. There. 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 Okay. Okay. Now the only question is the end pieces. How do we do the end pieces? So here on top we have these here, and these are gonna be connected to the engine block like this. The problem is that these here are not. There's not gonna be a way for us to do this in a sensible way, which is bad, because my the way I made the block was, of course, that these here would attach to these here, but things have changed. Things have changed, and you know that I have zero motivation to take this apart. Absolutely zero. It looks good, it's uniform, it's exactly how a head should be built. And if we put these in here, what will happen is when you take off the head, inevitably some of these are going to be pulled out. So I would like to avoid this. Yeah, nothing. That's that's no problem. So panic averted. Panic averted. So we're gonna do it like this, and not lose any sleep about it. So sorry. gonna have it like this. So just the spacer, and the pins can pin in here. It's not gonna go anywhere because it's gonna be located by these anyway. So it's fine. There we go. Here in the middle, we can have, yeah, just like that. I don't have any gray ones. I think I have just 2 black ones. No, of course I don't. Then it's gonna be blue. There. Yeah. And there's me. I'm too old for this shit. There. There we go. We're not done yet, of course. But the head is mounted to the engine block. See? That's the intention. So you can pull it off without consequences. And then just put it back on, and it's all good. There. Okay. So now we have to make the front and the rear of the engine block as well. How do we do this? I guess we can use these. Should be doable. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be fine. But should we do this or not? Yeah, but I don't want to use lift arms. I don't want to use the lift arms. Or do I? Yeah, I see the lift arms, but the thing is, you know why I don't want to use the lift arms? And correct me if I'm wrong, because if I use a layer of lift arms here, then you are not gonna be able to see the valves. I mean, right now, like this, the block, see, the block is nicely naked, so you can appreciate everything that's happening. If I put a level of lift arms here, we are concealing everything. That's my reasoning. But yeah, I get the lift arm thingy, which I guess would make things easier here in the front. But for here in the front, we can do something else. But yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Do we put the lift arms here or not? That's the question. I mean, still we will have a gap of 1 stud here to peek through, but that way you see more. I don't know, because I really like our valves. And if the camera would focus, that would be great. Thank you. Thank you. We have to time the engine, of course. I don't know. Your version with the lift arms does look nice and everything, but it's yeah. I don't know. I mean, let's build it and see if it's such an impact or not. I mean, it's gonna make life for us easier, of course, doing the front and rear of the engine. That's absolutely for sure. That's it. It's gonna make our life much easier in this regard. Um, mhm. Yeah, I guess. I guess we can do this. Yeah. Okay. Let's build it. Let's build it. Mm. So 5 of them. No need. There, there, there. Yeah, I mean it's out cleaner. That's absolutely sure. There. Now, as I said, in front. You know, not many. I don't think many people even know that there was a pre-stream, and of course, it didn't help matters that most of the stream was in most of the pre-stream was in German. But of course, when there's more people, we're gonna switch to English, of course. So, I mean, that didn't help matters, but you know, it's um, it's something I'm kind of working towards. Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. Not do this because I want this here, and then I need 2 of these here. What can I do? Ah, yeah, of course. I can do this. I can basically, but wait, I need 1 here, and then, yeah, okay. We're gonna do it like this. This. There. Ah, don't fall off. They always fall down into the abyss. Okay. And here as well. I mean, the engine is standstill. I mean, I didn't think we're gonna use so much material to make it. But damn, it's gonna look cool. This is gonna be so nice. Okay. One lift arm is missing. There. So, our engine block. Now we need to put on the journals for the crankshaft. So, of course, I have just light gray pieces, not light bluish gray pieces, but we're gonna have to deal with them. Okay. Okay, what I want here, just gonna put in this as a placeholder. We want this, so crankshaft is up, down. Then is I have to watch the camshaft to see how it needs to be positioned. Okay. Okay. Then we have another bearing. Then we have, yeah. Okay. Okay. Bearing. Suck. Ah. Okay. And the final piece. What, really? Ah, okay. Now it's a bit awkward because we have to deal, with half a stud here. So this thing is gonna poke out by half a stud, unfortunately. And so, as in the real car, we place the whole crankshaft into the engine block like this. So so we can take the crankshaft out of the engine block at any time that you like. We don't have to disassemble the whole engine block to get the crankshaft out. We just lift the journals out of the engine block, like in the real engine. And of course, here in the rear, the half a stud is unfortunate, but this is, it's a display engine, it's gonna be okay. Now we put on the cylinder head. And now we have to make the front chain drive. Here in the rear, we are gonna have to engineer something that's gonna be, a bell housing that's gonna attach the gearbox to the engine. I have no idea how, but you're gonna do it. Yeah, I mean, there's a window inside to see the valves working, cylinders. It's gonna be fine. Now, what's giving me sleepless nights is that here in the front, it's a simulation of a 4-stroke engine. So for every one rotation of the crank, for every 2 rotations of the crank, the camshaft rotates once. So in theory, we would have an 8-stud gear here and these here. Half stud pulley wheels with 6 holes. Yeah, those might be the best here. True. They would also grip the best. Yeah. Okay. So, um, I I kind of have the taste of vomit in my mouth just thinking about putting a chain drive onto the 8 stud gear. It doesn't feel right at all. But that's how you would do it in the real car. Stream was on Twitch. Um, I streamed World of Warships. It's gonna be every day since I play World of Warships every day. Um, but next before the next stream, you can you know now that there's gonna be a pre-stream. Um, just if you're interested. If you're not, watch me play some World of Warships. So. Yeah, those would be better, right? Yeah, those would be better. I agree. This is just. This is not right. It's not kosher. Not at all. It's gonna look a lot better as well. Let's see. So these chains here have a lot of mileage behind them in pneumatic engines. Okay, so first I'm gonna just put the chain on just to see where we are, and then we're gonna time it. Okay. So we definitely need a tensioner. Definitely. Okay. So I'm gonna cap it here. Okay. There. So we need a tensioner here. To so that we can drive the chain. Okay. So let's figure out how to do a tensioner. What do we have to do here? We can change this here to an L lifter. To this, for example, put it like this. And then we would have an option to put something on here that would create the tension here. Not much, just just so it doesn't flap around. Just so it doesn't flap around. Ideally here, yeah. Ideally, we would have this guy somewhere on this axis. Um, 14 teeth. Which gear has 14 teeth? These are 16 teeth. 16 and 24. Yeah, but wait. That's not right. We cannot use 16 and 24. That's not... We would need a 32 here. That's wrong, what we have here. 24 divided by... We would need a 12 tooth gear here, if this was right. But the 12 tooth gear doesn't work with this. If we, if we want to the timing of the engine to be correct for the cylinders, if we just want to see everything work, doesn't matter, really. Okay, that's a good one. So this gear here would need to be 12 tooth. These are 24. This would need to be 12 tooth. Now the 12 tooth gears, sadly, since they are double bevel, so these here, sadly don't work. These don't work with the chain. That's a bummer. So the 16 and the 8 theoretically work. So the setup that I had before. So this here is, maybe I have, this one is damaged. Maybe have a better gear somewhere. Might as well take this one. So this setup is technically correct. Again, okay, yeah. I have no idea if it's gonna work, but let's see. Because I don't trust 8 tooth gears. Not a bit. Might work. Might work. Yeah. Well, technically it does work, just not in the days of future past. This one existed. So, new one. Come on, camera, what's wrong with you today? Please focus. So, new one, old one. Nobody says that this is gonna work, of course. It doesn't work. Okay, yeah. So, what are we gonna do? That's the question. That's the question. What to do? Do we say we don't care about realism a bit and just put a 16 tooth here and two 24 tooth here and say that's fine? Or do we do something else? Because we can't win here, because if we want 32 teeth, let's say we go 16 here, and then realistically we would have a 32 tooth gear here. So that doesn't work either, because this guys don't support the chain as well. So the other option would be, just as I often do in my engines, or very often, always do it in my engines, to use gears throughout the drive. That we could do. We could make, you know, a bracket that would house all of the pins needed for the gears. And then our camshafts would be driven by gears instead of chain. What do you think? We could do that. And then we can, you know, have the right, we can have the 12 tooth here. We can have these here. And then they would be driven by gears. I think that would be the most correct, because since we went to the trouble of making all of the valves, I would really like this to be a 4-stroke engine and the valves being timed to the crankshaft. I would really like that. That would be cool. So it would be a real 4-stroke engine. You know, this is what we were missing with the Charger. This is what I like. Doing something like this, putting something so unnecessary, complicated into a model. But this, you know, this adds value, if you ask me. This, and then, you know, we're gonna put a manifold with a turbo here, and then an intake manifold here. We can do an intercooler here, you know, that combines the turbo with the intake manifold. With blue pipes, of course, you know, for the effect, and it'll be grand. You know, we can change the spark plugs. This is cool. Okay, so it's decided. We do this the proper way. We build this with gears. Okay, so let's do it. Let's see what kind of gear matrix we need. Ideally, let's see, ideally, what can we do? Yeah, they would spin in the same direction. What can we do here? Is there... Yeah. But this is just not in the correct geometry. Let's see here. What about this? Oh yes. Oh yes, but no. So what about this? Is this in the correct geometry? No. So what I'm looking for is if the axle here is in a line where, you know, where we can have a pinhole, simple pinhole, but it isn't. What about this? Because it doesn't matter what's here, because we're gonna make ourselves, like in the pneumatic inline 4, we're gonna make ourselves a bracket that fits on it and holds all of the gears. So we don't give a shit about this, but still we have to consider that it has to be kinda in the matrix. I mean, it sounds wrong, but yeah, you know what I mean. This I think would work. Yeah, this would work. Let's do this. And we're gonna work ourselves from top to the bottom. So basically, what we want in the ideal case, now we want a 1-to-1 drive down. So if we don't succeed to go completely down with this row, then we're gonna just, you know, have something here. And we're gonna use, of course, not these. We're gonna use the red ones. And go, you know, down. Yeah, and here we're gonna have one on the side here. let's say it's gonna be, you know, an oil pump or something. We're gonna make it look good. Okay, so this is half a stud. So we need to make half a stud valley here. Let's see. Okay, this would work. So this is unlike with the pneumatic engines, where I would not do this the way we're doing it here. There's no, we don't have any huge forces acting here, you know. So because we don't have any huge forces acting here, we can afford to do this the way we are doing right now. If we had, you know, huge forces doing acting onto all of these gears, what you're doing now would not be very prudent. So let's see. Let's see. Yes, works. So now let's work down and see how well we can make this. I think I need to swap to a 9er here. This should be a 9 stud axle. Come on. Ah, okay. There we go. So what we need? One more, right? One more. No, we don't need one more. Okay. We don't need one more. But what we do need, now we need to see what we need here. So we need to engage this gear and this gear. That's gonna be fun. So what do we place here? Okay, never mind. So correct me if I'm wrong. I am wrong probably, but if I connect this gear and this gear with something that's not this gear, would this work? Would it break the gear ratio? Probably would, right? Because right now we want this. We want this gear to be here. Yeah. Because if I put now a random gear here, you know, something else, it would be okay if I did this just in the setup that we do here. So this gear, it's a 16. It's so the 12 gear is transmitting power up to the 24s through 16s. That's okay. However, if I would now, you know, place a gear here that's not a 16, then we would have a different gear ratio. So this would not be okay. So we need to use a 16 gear here if we want to succeed. Yeah. And this is gonna be slightly problematic. This is where the action stops. You know, because of the odd placement of the gear, and we basically, I don't know. You think it shouldn't matter? I don't know. I mean, maybe because this gear is acting on that gear. My tiny brain, yeah. Okay, they're cancel out. Okay, okay. Then we have a little more scope here for improvement. So would this be in line? Yeah, this could work. Idler gears. Okay, okay. Then I think we should go with this, or at least try it. Try it. Let's try it. I have no idea if this is the right amount of spacing. Okay. I'm gonna use something else here, just so we can see if it turns. Okay. And now we said that this guy should be here. Okay. Let's see if this works. I doubt it, but okay. It does mesh with this one. Okay. Oh my god, it works. This works. This works. Boys, this works. Okay, now we can measure it. We can measure it. Come on. Okay, so we can measure it. Absolutely. Let's say no. Okay. Let's measure it. So you see this notch here, this mold mark here. Okay, we'll take this as reference here, and this guy here, the white part here, as reference here. And now we're gonna rotate the crankshaft. We rotate the crankshaft once, and this guy here has to be down here. Okay, yes. And now we rotate this twice. Yeah, it's just a set. It's the correct ratio. So for every 2 rotations of the crankshaft, the camshaft rotates once, exactly as it should be in a 2-stroke in a 4-stroke engine. So that's correct. As Max said, it is correct. So the idler drivetrain doesn't matter at all, which is good. So let's say this is the drive for the oil pump. Now we're gonna put something here that's gonna drive the alternator, since we have this nice bracket, and then we're gonna make something that looks like an alternator, and then we can make the turbo on this side, so the manifold, the intake, and then the pipe connecting the turbo with the turbo intercooler, intake pipe, all of this. So it's gonna look beautiful. Before we do this, I want to see how it looks in the engine bay. Nice. But, and there's a but, these guys are probably not gonna clear the hood. Probably. The engine needs to be here to fit in. And these are not clearing the hood. I'm certain. We're gonna try it. Come on. Okay. It looks nice. I really like how it looks, but I am pretty damn sure we have the same problem as with the inline 3. Or even worse, of course. Yeah. No way, Jose. No way. This isn't working. Okay. So, before we get too excited, what needs to happen is that the engine needs to come one stud down. And this might not be as huge of a problem as I think. Come on. Okay. Basically, we need to put it in like this. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, now it should fit. Now it should fit. Yeah, I think it will. I'm just gonna make. I'm gonna put something temporary in so that the engine is. I can suspend the engine and close the hood. there, and there. Okay, now it's one stud lower. Now, theoretically, we should be able to close the hood. Let's, okay. Let's hope so. Okay. Okay, looking good so far. Looking good. Just a moment. Just a moment. Oh wow. Okay. I wish I could show you what I see. Yeah. Almost. The only problem is the spark plug, basically. Only problem is the spark plug, and we're gonna fix this. Yeah. There's clearance everywhere. Clearance everywhere. The only problem is this spark plug here, which collides with this. Now, we said that we are gonna revisit this anyway, in order to fit the inline 3. So I'm gonna check this as fits. So yeah, it is more beautiful with the chain, but you know, if it doesn't work with the chain, what can I do? It does fit in there. It's probably, this is probably the biggest fake cylinder engine that anyone has put into a Lego car so far. Probably not, but you know, whatever. Okay, what do we have to do here? We have to make sure that this cover doesn't fall off. That's the first thing that we need to do. Doesn't need much. I think we are going to use what I wanted to use before. So we're gonna use an L lift arm here that stretches out here, and then we can attach this to the L lift arm, because it doesn't need much. It just needs to stay in place, and it will stay in place. Just needs something. Okay. And again, for people who weren't here at the beginning of the stream, our beautiful cylinder head, looking semi-realistic, I think, with all of the valves working as best as we could make them. There are no 14 tooth gears. There are 8 tooth gears, there are 16 tooth gears, and there are 24 tooth gears. Then there are the new double bevel ones that don't work with the chain are 12, 20, 28, and 32. So I don't know where 14 tooth gears would be, but 14 tooth gears don't help us anyway. So a lift arm, come on, you know, now we can say I have to pull the head from my Lego engine. Where do we need to do this? here. How do we do this? We can put in this, and then an axle through this. That should be it. Come on. I can't be so clumsy. Okay. What do you mean, Tyler? What do you mean, how do I make that engine? I don't understand the question. I am literally showing you how we do this. Come on, okay. So, here we would put, I guess, we would put this guy in here. That's enough. For this side, of course, anyway. Because this side, I guess, needs help as well. Not necessarily, of course, because things work. That barrel gear was 14 tooth. Really? I thought it was 12. Okay. It was 4. Okay. I did not know that. I did not know that. I always thought there were 12 gears. Okay. So now this part on this side, I don't know. We don't even need to do this. We can basically put this thing on here and call it a day. Basically, there's no need to do anything else. Realistically speaking. However, what we have to do now is time the engine. We need to time the engine. Okay. So how do we time the engine? Let's start with the engine being in top dead center in the first cylinder. Okay. There's no room for the fan blade, so, and the fan blade would be electric anyway. So top dead center, and top dead center on the first cylinder. Can you see it? Barely. Top dead center in the first cylinder. If we want ignition, both valves need to be closed. So it's top dead center. Now both valves are closed and the spark plug ignites. So it rotates downwards. Oh my god. Why is this so bad today? There's no light, literally. Okay. So, top dead center, the cylinder goes down. And while the cylinder travels down, so they stay closed. However, once the cylinder reaches bottom, now the exhaust port needs to open. So this guy here, the cylinder is about to travel up, and the exhaust port needs to open while the cylinder travels up. So the exhaust part here is gonna open while the cylinder travels up. So this setting is correct. While this happens, this guy here is getting ready to open when the cylinder reaches top dead center. So basically this happens simultaneously. While the first cylinder travels up, the exhaust port is slowly opening. And then this part here, when it reaches the top, see, this is exhausting. Yeah, it reaches the top, and now when it's on the top, this needs to open. No, it opens. Sorry, for a moment I forgot how four-stroke engines work. So this guy, now that the cylinder has reached top dead center, these guys here close, and while this cylinder starts to travel down, the intake opens. So basically we are gonna time it like this. This guy is going to open while this guy is drawing down, and this guy has just closed. This has just closed, and this is just about to open while this is traveling down. Okay, let's see. Of course, if it works on the first cylinder, doesn't mean it works on all of the cylinders because of the crank throws here and everything. And yeah, we'll see. Come on. Okay, slot it here. Yeah, power functions motors can always be added, you know. Basically, you can motorize this by adding one motor on each side, and then you have the model engine and the car is driving electrically. So that's something to be considered. Okay, so let's test this. So now our cylinder here is traveling down. Let's look at it. It's traveling down, and wrong rotation. Okay, so I want the engine to turn which way? Which way does the Cosworth engine turn? Anyway, so from looking at front, I think it should turn clockwise. You see, the problem with our idler gear setup is that the crankshaft and the camshafts turn in the opposite direction. That's what threw me off. So I expected the camshaft to open the other way around. So we have to make adjustments. Since I usually have engines that turn viewed from the front, they turn clockwise. That's how I like to set them up. So again, if we want the engine to turn clockwise, it's gonna go down, and then the exhaust port needs to open. Since this is gonna, yeah, exhaust port is gonna open, and this has just closed. So they have to be the other way around. You know, once we have figured this out, this is not gonna be a problem, but we are in the process of. Okay. What do you mean only 4 blots, not 8? Anyway, let's see. So now the cylinder is in top dead center, and the exhaust is opening. The cylinder is in bottom dead center, and now the exhaust, the intake, sorry, the intake is closing. See, the intake is closing. The exhaust is still staying closed, and now that we have reached the top dead center, the mixture is compressed, and now the spark plug ignites everything. And now the cylinder moves down again. See? And now that it starts moving up, the exhaust port opens. See? And we exhaust everything. Now that we move down, the intake port opens. We suck in air and fuel. It closes. We compress the mixture. The spark plug ignites it. We move down again. And now that we move up, the exhaust port opens again. So we exhaust the fuel and air mixture. There we go. That's it. Obviously, I made a few mistakes here. My bad, because I'm thinking of pneumatic engines, not real engines. And the problem here, of course, is in the crankshaft, because a real 4-cylinder crankshaft is not bent 90 degrees, but it's bent, it's a 180-degree crank, obviously. So in order to accommodate this, we need to adjust all of the crank throws, of course. And we need to, disassemble the engine again. But I'm going to do this off camera. It's not relevant for us now. Just keep in mind that I need to adjust these. So it's going to be easier even because right now I'm not sure if this has to be here on going on top or down. This is also something that so it's 90 degree. It's bent 90 degree compared to the first cam low, but maybe it needs to be bent 270 degrees. So doesn't matter. It's not important for us right now. Anyway, the engine as a block, so it is done. Now let's go for the fun part. I have no idea how the Cosworth, the rest of the Cosworth engine looks. So I am going to have to Google it. Let's see. How does a Cosworth engine look like? Okay. So it's right. Oh wow, the belt drive is interesting. Okay, interesting. I mean, shame that we cannot do the belt drive, but we can't have everything. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, so we're gonna do this relatively simply. Okay, so we have to make. We're gonna make a support here that's gonna support our intake. So we have, let's say, on this height here, we're gonna have tubes going into each of the cylinders, and there's a rail here. The rail basically is just houses the fuel injectors that we are going to somehow uh, appropriate with yellow contrast. Um, and then it has a rail, and this rail is being fed by the turbocharger. So imagine we have a rail here that's basically meant to gather air and then distributes them the air into the cylinders. And from that tube on, there's from the rail, there goes a tube down to the intercooler, and then uh, on this side here we have the turbocharger. So the turbocharger sits on top of the exhaust manifold. So the exhaust manifold comes down here from each of the cylinders into the turbocharger. The turbocharger sucks air from the front and sends compressed air uh, from this spinning front compressor down to the intercooler, and then the compressed air goes through the intercooler and then into the rail that feeds the intake, and then uh, behind here we will have a tube going down, which is the exhaust. Sounds simple, right? Yeah. Um, let's see if we have some parts to do this. Not many, but I'm gonna see if I can steal some from the Land Rover, if it has it. Does the Land Rover have some parts we can borrow permanently? Yeah, it does. It does. I guess. Yeah, but this being Lego, I cannot, for the life of me, get anything out of the car unless I disassemble it completely. Wonderful. Ah, good thing I'm doing this off camera. Ah, this is frustrating. I'm literally fighting for my life here with the Land Rover. God damn it. Ah. Ah, well. Okay. The Okay, let's see what we have. We have some tubing. Three. Yeah, I need one more for the intake. Yeah, one more for the intake. Hold on. Oh god. Okay, that was easier than I thought. So, Land Rover doesn't need it anymore, so doesn't matter. Okay. Let's see. One, two. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, whatever. This is just the intake. So what I want to do here, the intake would be come on, something in the lines along the lines of this. I would have this would be the intake tubes. I would kind of house them, I mean support them like this, and then we would have to kind of suggest injectors, so fuel injectors here. The fuel injectors would be together with those tubes going into the cylinder. Let me think of a way to do this. And there would be yellow, of course, for contrast. Let's, you know, I love contrast. It needs to be a touch of something. Now, how would we do this? Maybe we could make the fuel injectors like this. Maybe this could be a fuel injector. It would be pointed into the engine like this, so we would have 4 of them. And we just have to kinda see how to, yeah, that's gonna be it. Then there's gonna be the rail here. Yep. I think. Maybe not, but I think so. So we would have yeah, it would be at this height, something like this. You know, and then 4 injectors, and then the main pipe would connect to the axle here. I think that this would be viable. We can do a little better with the connectors, with the injectors. Sorry, I think. Let me see. Okay, then we are gonna use this. Yes, I do have yellow bushings. Yeah, we can. So so they're longer a little bit. That's what I wanted. So they're a little bit longer. Yeah, those will do. That's fine. Now the other question is, how wide can we go? Because of this. Let's check. My guess is not too wide. How wide can we go? We cannot go the full length, of course, because of this. So we cannot even go as wide as we want. So we need to shorten this a little bit. Yeah, okay. Good that we measure things. Anyway, we're gonna keep our design. Come on. We are going to keep our design with the yellow stuff because I like it. Okay, but we're gonna omit this. So we're gonna basically mount these on the rail. And sadly, we're gonna have to, well, sadly, it's gonna be a little different than I thought, but it's gonna work. Yeah, it's gonna work. Just let me check manually. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, let's do this. So let's manufacture 4 of these. Okay. 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 Where do I have these? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what's the distance? I'm going to place them, since the last one can be here. We cannot go any further back because the bulkhead is here. But we want the to mimic 4 of them. So ideally, ideally it would be here, but it can't be because of the geometry and everything. So it's gonna be here, and we have like here and here, so it's 4 studs between them. 4 studs between them, but I don't want them to bend. So I don't want them to bend, but at the same time, I want to mimic the tube. What can we do? This would be ideal. And this guy has to be like this, okay? And here, since we're gonna, yeah, okay, there's the gap. This is probably the most I have ever overthought a fake engine. I don't think I have ever put so much effort into details for the pneumatic engines as I'm doing here. So it's what? 13 minus 3 is 10. Okay. No, we can have even less. So an 8 will do. 8 will do. Okay. So this, where do we mount this? Okay. Okay, there. We mount it there. But how do we mount it? As simple as possible, I would say. So we would mount it here. Yeah. Here. One, two, three, four, five. 5 and then 3. Yeah, okay. an axle hole here and here. We want to succeed here. Sorry, you cannot see anything. I'm being stupid. So we want to mount this here. We cannot mount this here the way I want it, because this is already here. Okay, let's in order to make this easier for me, because my imagination is kinda not the strongest today. So we have the intake rail like this, so injectors, intake rail, and then the last one here. Right. Yeah, this one's kind of gonna be wonky. We can fix that. We can fix this. Okay. Okay, but now that we have the rail, we're gonna put onto this. How do we mount this? Okay. Right. 1, 2, 3. Just let me check something. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this injector would be better if I turn this around so that it would be mirrored. You know, so that the injectors would be on the other side, in order not for the injector not to be here in front. Hey Marco, it's going, so we cannot go any further than this. So we need to leave this empty because the bulkhead is here. And here in the front, I think we're gonna turn this around because of the injector. Yeah. We have to mirror this. So the injector is at the last part. Okay. Then this makes it even easier, I think. Okay. My God. So much love. So much love. That's good to see. Okay. And the last one. The last one is gonna be, yeah, here. How do we connect this? How do we connect these two? This is not the Highlander. It doesn't need to be only one. Stop. Okay. So infuriating. How do we do this? Okay. That's how we're gonna have to do this. I think. Okay. We have a nice attachment point right there. Let's see where it is. It's just where I want it. Okay. Just where I want it. Okay. Of course, we'll see about this. I want, probably I want a support in front here as well. Okay, very good. Very good. So we can have another support here, in this exact spot. Ah, come on, move over. Okay, so what am I missing? Ah, okay. That's what I'm missing. So theoretically, yeah, this guy needs to be the same, and then you're fine. And now for symmetry's sake, I'm gonna use okay. And here, what are we going to do here? Well, we have to bring this down somehow. There. And here we can do this. So our intake is mounted. So now we need the exhaust side. And of course, well, exhaust side. And of course we need here an attachment that it's gonna attach the blue hose that goes down to the intercooler. But that's easy to do, I think. That's easy to do. We can basically use this guy here, and then we attach something here and the hose onto it, just like that. Okay, let's do the turbo. The turbo is gonna be this side. And how is the turbo going to look like? I mean, obviously, we are not gonna make it spin. I don't think so. Or do? No. There's no way for us to make it spin. Right? Right? Because you see, what if we used this guy here, put a pulley wheel on it, a large pulley wheel, and then route it via a rubber band towards here. The axle goes through the turbo, and I mean through the turbo, under the turbo, and spins it up even more. What do you think? Yeah, but of course, we need to change this this guy here for this to work. How fast would it spin? A little faster, I guess. What do you think? Yes to spinning turbo or no? Or do we make just a model of the turbo? Because for the turbo to spin, yeah, it needs a housing and needs parts that I don't have, I guess. If we just do the model, then it's gonna be relatively easy, you know, with things like this. So we do the turbo kind of like here. We can use, I don't know, how big does the turbo need to look like? Yeah, just a model. I think everything else is overkill. Hey, Roddy. Sup? Yeah, true, true, true. That is true. So yeah, I would use pneumatic hose in our case, basically just to mimic the hose going down to the intercooler and up from the intercooler to the intake. That's the only instance where I would use pneumatic hose here in our case. Okay, so this can be the intake. So the oh, it's 90 degrees in the rear car. Okay, this is the intake hose, the intake coming from the air filter into the turbo. And now here we have the turbo, which is gonna sit on the exhaust manifold. Should take a longer axle, I think. Yeah. So this guy needs to sit on the exhaust manifold. Let's say it's gonna be placed with this. And here in the back we need the other part, so the turbine that actually drives the compressor. It's a small turbine. Oh, and yeah, of course, what we need is we need the downpipe here going to the intercooler. That's what we need here. So we need, you know, this needs to be bigger. Okay. The downpipe could be connected to something like this. going from the turbo, of course. Yeah. Man, this is so small. I'm not used to working on things that are so small. Kind of difficult to make something look good in the scale. But I think I have a more appropriate turbo for this. I do not have small pulley wheels, sadly. No. Those would be great for the turbo. What I do have might be too big. I do have these rims. But the problem is that Lego doesn't manufacture these anymore, so we're not gonna use them. They're hard to get. Yeah, that's too big. Okay. Right. The pulley wheels would be ideal. Aha. Okay. Never mind. Here they are. So, pulley wheels. There. And we would use this and this as a downpipe for the turbo. So the compressor would be all of this. I mean something. This. And then we could have this. Where's the picture of the door? Okay. Yeah. That would be okay if I had another one of these. I don't think so. But let me check with the landlord. Is there one more somewhere that I have overlooked? No. I've taken everything that was to be taken from it. So all of those. So I'm gonna borrow this one. Just so, you know, I like to see how things look in the proper colors. So this would make, yeah, okay. Let's leave the engine. This would make kind of a semi-good turbo, I guess. Then we can choose whether we take the downpipe from here or from here, I guess. And then here in the back, we then have this guy. That should be black ideally, because I'm going to make an exhaust manifold out of these two, and what else am I gonna use? I'm gonna use this and this. Okay. This is gonna be our exhaust manifold, and then the turbo, sorry, and then the turbo is gonna sit on top of it. So the turbo is gonna sit here on top of this exhaust manifold, like this. So to make this work, we need what? This is an 8. Do I have black bushings left? No, I don't. So we need to eyeball it. Okay. Okay. So this would be, since at the same height as the intake, we would have our turbo. Only problem I can see, let me check if this is actually a problem or am I hallucinating. It would be if, yeah, the camshafts would hit the turbo. It needs to be a little bit lower here. Okay. Yeah, no problem. We make it lower. There we go. Okay. Then our tube can attach to this. Great. Okay. So it's here. It's not low enough. It's not directly hitting this. Really? Do we have so little room here? Yeah. Let me check. How much room do we actually have in the engine bay? So we have this much room. So it's literally... Oh no, we have 4 studs on each side of the engine room. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so the turbo actually can be further away from the engine. Let's see. So it can be 1 stud further away from the engine. Like here. This is where the turbo can be. Here. Yeah. Let's see. Where can we attach it to the rest? And the bigger question is, well, how do we mimic the exhaust from here to here? We need 1 more stud. Or no. We do it like this. We put this guy here 1 stud further away. But how do we do this? No. Damn it. So how do we put the axis of the turbo 1 stud further away from this? So it doesn't turn. I don't want it to turn. I just want it to be 1 stud further away. I mean, that would be 1 way, but then it would turn, and I don't want this, right? I don't want it to turn. Incidentally, usually you would want to turn it. You would want it to turn, but we don't. In this rare case, we don't want it to turn. Yet it does. In And if I don't turn it here, then it can swing around like this, which I don't want either. You know, I wish Lego did this part with axle holes in both. That would be great. You know, if anyone from Lego is listening, my parts wish right there. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, okay. I figured it out. It's so simple. It was staring me in the face the whole time. Okay. There. There we go. See, now we have the space between the turbo and the camshafts. Now it's all fine. Only thing that we have to do now is figure out a way to mount this, which should not be too difficult. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, this one aligns. This one doesn't align. I need to use something else here. Hey Tim, what's your problem? Having indigestion problems? So this one, far. Okay. So this one here needs to go in and left or right. Okay. There we go. here on, there's the downpipe. The downpipe goes to the exhaust. Here, the downpipe goes to the intercooler in the front. And then from the intercooler, it goes into our friend here. Come on. So from the intercooler, it goes in here. And this here goes to the air filter. So here's the air filter, goes into the turbo. Then the turbo compresses the air. The compressed air goes here from this pipe into the intercooler. Intercooler cools the air down. And then from the intercooler it goes into the intake, into the cylinders. So now let's take a look at how it looks in the car. If it has enough room, that's the big question. Come on. Okay. So almost. Basically it fits. We need to adjust a few things here and there, but it fits. We have an engine. It fits. It looks great, if you ask me, especially from my perspective here. Which can I show you? Maybe. Yeah. Looks okay. Looks okay. I wish the engine was placed a little bit further, a little bit more to the front. But we don't have a lot of options because you see the power bulge here in our hood is perfectly shaped for these two. So it could go, let's say, one stud further to the front, but there's another problem. So let's say we put the engine one stud further front. It would work. Problem is on the underside. Let me show you. So the problem here is with this gear. This gear here cannot go any further forward because it hits the suspension bridge. So that would be a bummer. And you see this gear here that we have, this gear here, the 24 tooth, fits perfectly between the attachment points for the suspension bridge. So that's great. We couldn't, come on. So we couldn't ask for more. It's ideal, actually. So the placement of the engine right now is pretty much perfect. Yeah. So what we have to do now is create engine mounts and gearbox. But of course, this is gonna happen in the next installment on Friday. On Friday, we are going to, yeah, whatever. On Friday, we are going to do the gearbox, engine mounts, and yeah, once we have that, we can start on the dashboard. And I hope by Friday, we should get some more white parts so we can start on the bodywork as well. Yeah. But look at this. This thing is quite heavy, and it's approximately as big as the LP Power pneumatic inline 4. Who would have thought? And it's even bigger, at least longer, than the inline 3. Yeah, and wider, of course, because it's huge. And you can, from the front, you can nicely see that the intake here and the exhaust are in the same plane, of course. So the exhaust, the intake goes in here, exhaust goes out there, and our valves, of course, in the engine. So we have everything. I mean, if you ask me, this is one of the better model engines that we put in Lego cars. But I mean, you be the judge. I'm just doing what I can. Come on. Hold still. Okay. Yeah, we need engine mounts, otherwise this is never gonna sit still. So, I see you on Friday. In the meantime, I see you on Discord. I have a World of Warships stream on my Discord, on my Twitch, basically every day. It was the pre-stream, so before I started streaming this, I was streaming the World of Warships, and tomorrow, of course, at the same time as this stream, is gonna be the World of Warships stream on Twitch. So just find me as Nichiasno on Twitch, or I'm going to post the link in Discord, and if you like, you can watch me play some ships. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I see you on Friday.